Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about this whole Dr. Disrespect situation because it's just been an absolute wild turn of events, right? I mean, last night we get this accusation from a former Twitch employee that really kind of like connects back to a situation that happened about 4 years ago or so at this point. So just to start from the beginning, I guess here, you might remember about 4 years ago, like I said, back in 2020, Dr. Disrespect was randomly banned from Twitch. No one really knew what was going on, why it happened, right? Twitch didn't really give anybody an answer, Dr. Disrespect didn't really give anybody an answer, and it just became this weird situation where, for like the last 4 years, people have just kind of wondered what really happened. Well, an allegation, though, from a former Twitch employee claims to have the reason for all of that. He got banned because he got caught sexting a minor in the then-existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that be could read in plain text. Case closed, gang. No one made the wrong decision. Fuck him and his boys. So obviously, this is a serious allegation. It went really viral. People started talking about it, it blew up everywhere on Twitter. And, you know, everyone starts piecing together things. Everyone starts trying to connect dots. You know how the internet is. People, you know, turn into detectives and whatnot. Well, once again, back in 2020 when this whole thing happened, there was a gaming industry insider by the name of Slasher who made a pretty famous tweet regarding the entire thing when he said, "Look, for several hours now, I have been told from credible sources the reason Dr. Disrespect has been banned. However, due to the importance and sensitivity around the subject, I've refrained from going on it. I don't feel comfortable with it currently." Now, there was a pretty mixed reaction to this tweet, right? A lot of people obviously just wanted to know what the hell was going on because it was already a big issue with Dr. Disrespect and Twitch when he got banned, but this made it sound pretty serious, pretty concerning, right? Well, obviously now that these allegations have come out, people have connected that dot, right? Oh, this is probably what he was talking about, right? Well, Slasher seemed to address that pretty indirectly with a new tweet that says, "I didn't lie." So, well, people have connected that dot, and this is a major reason why a lot of people online have already taken this allegation at face value. They've already believed it. Now, there's also a lot of people online who are a lot more skeptical when it comes to this allegation, and the reason most people who I've seen are skeptical about the allegation is that there is no actual hard concrete evidence, right? There's no screenshots of Dr. Disrespect having this conversation. There's no, inside video of the Twitch employees discussing the ban or anything crazy like that. There's no actual proof that links this allegation to the real world. As of right now, it's pretty much just somebody on Twitter saying something happened. And so Dr. Disrespect actually responded to this whole thing last night with a tweet that has also now gone somewhat viral, not for a good reason though, but it says, "Jake, seriously, I get it. It's a hot topic, but this has been settled. No wrongdoing was acknowledged and they paid out the whole contract." So people didn't like this response. I didn't really care for this response. And the reason was not necessarily because he didn't like confirm or deny or whatever the allegations against him, but it was the fact that it was just nothing but legal jargon. There's nothing here that actually really answers anybody's questions, right? It's just kind of a nothing burger. The topic has been settled. No wrongdoing was acknowledged. People are accusing that it happened or didn't happen. That's what the allegations are, right? When you say no wrongdoing was acknowledged and they paid out my whole contract in response to allegations of something this serious, it doesn't really give people the best vibe, right? It doesn't give people the best vibe for anything that you're doing or saying in response to this, right? Alright, so I was getting ready to upload this video, and then Dr. Disrespect actually responded again, so I'm gonna go ahead and insert this as well. I don't want to just upload the video without his actual newest response, and then have to, make a follow-up video or a follow-up community post or something. I'll just delay the video. Anyway, listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say what I can say since this is the fucking internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All of this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal, no wrongdoing was found, and I was paid. Elden Ring Monday. So this obviously is a much more direct response. He actually says he didn't do anything wrong. He confirms that there's legal paperwork with Twitch and whatnot that prevents him from saying probably what he really wants to say or should say in response or whatever, right? But basically, Dr. Disrespect's account of everything here is that you know, he didn't do anything wrong. All of it was checked into by Twitch, maybe even other people outside of Twitch who really knows. They kind of apparently found out that he didn't really do anything wrong. He wasn't trying to fucking do anything illegal. And so they paid him out his whole contract. I assume at that point there was probably, like I said in the rest of the video, a good amount of legal paperwork that was signed that prevented both parties from really going public with anything. And well, yeah. So obviously people have been pointing towards Twitch in this entire thing a lot because, well, this is a former Twitch employee who is basically now accusing not only Dr. Disrespect, but the platform itself of essentially covering up for several years one of the biggest stars on their platform, allegedly trying to meet up with a minor at one of their conventions through their platform, right? That is a very serious allegation regardless. It doesn't matter. I mean, that is just something that it's a make or break thing for everybody involved. If you get accused of that and it turns out to be true, not only is your career ruined, but you should in all reality go to fucking jail. You know what I mean? But of course, there's no actual concrete proof in this entire thing, so it's just become a he said, she said kind of fucking thing. It's just tit for tat, right? We have people, you know, making allegations. We have people responding with legal jargon. You know, nobody's dropping any solid proof. It's basically just viral allegations that have some connecting factors with other stories, right? A whole lot of coincidences at the moment, but this is the type of shit that obviously has to be taken seriously. Like, you can't just have allegations of one of the biggest streamers of all time and one of the biggest online faces probably right now even still. You can't have, you know, people like that possibly running around trying to meet with children and stuff and that just not be taken seriously. So when these kinds of allegations come up, they have to be taken seriously. Now, obviously, there is a very good incentive for Twitch in this entire thing, you know, if it were to be true, right? Like, if it was true, Dr. Disrespect did get caught doing this, and, you know, he got caught trying to meet a minor through the platform and stuff, right? Twitch has several good reasons to not want this to go public and to want to, you know, sign legal shit and get their legal teams signing up some fucking NDAs and whatnot, right? Number one, this accusation claims that this was all done through the Twitch Whispers feature in the chat, which has now been sunsetted or removed or whatever. So basically, they're admitting that if this were to be true, Twitch employees are essentially reading plain text versions of these people's private, so-called private messages, right? Which inadvertently is basically saying Amazon is reading through your messages through their social media platforms. Which, if you have any computer sense, you should probably assume that every big tech company is doing that anyway, but them openly admitting that isn't the best look, right? That's not a good thing for their company. Number two, Twitch has already been dealing with a lot of, you know, relationship issues with, like, their customers and with their viewers and whatnot, right? They already have kind of a community problem, if you will, and I don't think them basically having to come out and say, hey, one of the biggest people on our platform's entire history, yeah, he's been trying to meet up with your kids through our platform, right? Like, I don't think Twitch would ever want to have to admit that. That would be a fucking massive blow to their company reputation. I mean, look back at the stories on YouTube, bro. Things like Elsagate and, you know, people doing weird shit like that. These things have serious effects on these companies. So in Twitch's case, they definitely would not want that to happen. Also, obviously, Dr. Disrespect would never want the real reason to come out. The issue is, everything has to be taken with such a big grain of salt because there's no actual concrete proof. Now, the thing about Dr. Disrespect's most recent tweet, the one that came out as I was making this video and uploading it, is that it still just leaves a lot of questions. Even with it being more direct than the last one, there are still so many questions. I mean, he says he didn't do anything wrong, but he also says this has all been probed and settled. So he's kind of indirectly, I feel like, admitting that something happened. Obviously, some sort of situation occurred in which Dr. Disrespect was investigated for it, and as a result, the partnership with Twitch was terminated. Something happened. But do we actually know what happened? Well, if this allegation is true, that's a pretty fucking horrible reason, right? But also, too, this is a former Twitch employee. It could just be somebody who's disgruntled. Maybe it's somebody who had a personal thing against Dr. Disrespect. This could just be bullshit. And that's what's really shitty about situations like this, right? Is it's a very severe allegation and you want to believe that somebody would not lie about that. But the truth is, lots of people have lied about that. I think we're kind of at a point now where we may really never know the truth. I feel like there's two different outcomes that can happen here, right? Either somebody could break some sort of legal document, right? Break some sort of legal paperwork, some sort of NDA, and they could just fucking, drop the proof or drop the evidence or like get some sort of bombshell that would actually prove whether or not this whole thing happened, right? Now, obviously, that person would be exposing themselves to the legal ass fuckery of probably both Dr. Disrespect's good lawyers and also the lawyers of Twitch/Amazon, right? They would be just brutalized in court. I mean, let's be real, but it is a possibility. And if that is the case, we have somebody finally say the uncomfortable part out loud that really breaks this open, then I think that's a lot more conclusive. And if there is some sort of proof in this whole thing, I would much rather see it than not. Especially at the point that this has all gotten out, because it's not some little fucking allegation anymore, right? This isn't some rando tweeting to 500 people. This is an allegation that tens of millions of people have probably now seen. I mean, there on the first Dr. Disrespect tweet, there's millions of views alone, right? So like, so many people have already seen this shit, have already heard it. So many people realistically have already made up their mind on whether or not he's guilty or innocent. But me personally, I'm not willing to jump 100% one way or the other. I'm not going to say he's innocent because obviously there could be some crazy, horrible shit that's just covered up in the legal paperwork that we'll never be able to see. But also at the same time, I'm not just going to say that this guy is a fucking pedophile or a weirdo just because somebody on Twitter said so. I want to see actual evidence before I make that claim. Regardless, we know something odd happened. We know that something happened that got Dr. Disrespect's career on Twitch ended, and it led to them paying him out and basically shooing him on his way. But is it actually that he is, trying to meet up with minors, right? Now, also, just with the wording on that second tweet, I want to present an alternate scenario, if you will. Now, I'm not saying this is what happened, but I think it's a possibility that could be considered, right? What if, hypothetically, right, because you see him say all of it was probed and settled, nothing illegal, no wrongdoing was found, I was paid out, I didn't do anything wrong. What if, possibly, right, Dr. Disrespect was, talking to a fan or a viewer or whatever through the platform like accused. And, maybe the girl was like, I don't know, 16, 17, something like that. Maybe he either didn't know or maybe he did know. We never really know, right? What if? There's just so many different things that could have happened. It could have been an actual child. It could have been, like I said, a 17-year-old girl. Maybe he didn't know was 17 and then found out or whatever. You never really know. There's just so many different things that could have possibly happened. And the reality I'm seeing right now, at least, is I'm teetering on we'll probably never really know. Because if everybody was willing to cover this up for 4 years now and nobody was willing to fucking say anything, why would anybody step out now? Especially now that everybody's legal teams are fucking laser focused on this situation, ready to pull the trigger. I think at this point, we're just going to have what we have now, just a he said, she said, where people are just going back and forward about it. There's probably never going to be a real finalized conclusion. And if there is, I mean, I'd be surprised. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'd be surprised. Now, once again, I want to go ahead and say, hypothetically, if this turns out to be true, Dr. Disrespect really was out here, doing some just freaky, insane, disgusting shit, right? I will say it is pretty insane if that is the case, considering, he's been on this whole protecting the children wave or whatever, which if that's what you think, fine. You want to protect the kids. I agree, right? We should be protecting children and whatnot, right? But if you're going to preach messages like that and support messages like that, and then it turns out that you were actually out here trying to meet up with people's kids at the TwitchCon, man. Oh my God, that would just be fucking oh Jesus, dude. It's so scary to actually think about, right? Because the truth about all of this, regardless of what's going on here, right? Because even if Dr. Disrespect is guilty or innocent, it doesn't matter. This is a real thing that actually happens. I mean, how often is it that we actually find out that a fucking Minecraft YouTuber or something is out here trying to diddle people's kids? Like, it's just such a serious thing, and it's such a fucking disgusting outcome, possibly. And I don't know. I just feel like we're going to be in this perpetual game of tug of war where, Dr. Disrespect is just going to, legally deny everything that happened. We might never really know what happened. We might never really know what anything actually, none of the variables we really don't know right now, we may never actually know, is what I'm seeing right now. And then also, the person who made this allegation may never actually drop any sort of really concrete proof. I don't know. I mean, if there's an update in this situation, I'll go ahead and make a follow-up video, but that's what I'm seeing right now. I'm just not willing to jump on either side yet. The verdict is definitely still out for me. So anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about the Dr. Disrespect allegations, and signing out. And that's a wrap on this video, but big shout out to my Optimus Nation supporters. You guys are the real MVPs. For $10 a month, you get access to loads of exclusive videos and archived live streams, my members only Minecraft server where you can possibly appear in gameplay, early access to all new uploads, an invitation to the private Discord, and much more.